Fabian, one question is always about making a new technology accessible.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
We make it simple. So the idea is, currently, AI is more like for machine learning specialists. It's for the data scientists. And our approach is currently to design a platform that everybody can use. It's really designed and focused on the use for automation experts and process experts.
And we are targeting with this task-specific models, so real-time decision helpers based on AI, right?
Exactly. The idea is we train a very specific model based on own data, so the customer or the user of the platform is providing the data.
Yeah.
And the data specifies the application. And our platform takes care about the training process. So the user doesn't have to take care about how do I train a model, what model type do I select, how do I train it, what are the parameters. That's all automated inside of our platform. So the user only takes care about the application, the data, the samples, and in the end deploys the application on the control level.
So that means if I am about to develop a banana sorting machine which decides if a banana is good or bad, I do not longer have to write an algorithm, I just need a couple hundred pictures of good and bad bananas.
Exactly.
And I can train the machine, and then the machine can decide in real time if a banana is good or not good, in my opinion or according to the model.
Exactly. So you're an engineer. You don't have a data science background. But you, of course, are also then able to create such kind of AI model. You provide the data, 50 samples of good bananas, bad bananas uploaded, and in the end, you only click a button, you train a model, and you inspect the model if the model does what you expect it to do, and then you download the model, including also the PLC source code that you can integrate into in the TwinCAT engineering system.
So it's really a completely integrated workflow. What did we target so far? What kind of use cases have we looked into the most until now?
Yeah, we don't have so many banana use cases right now, but we are focusing...
That's bad for your potassium levels, I think.
Yeah, but we are focusing on vision tasks currently.
Okay.
So vision inspection tasks, sorting. Your banana example is one of those. So of course we don't focusing on bananas, but we have
plastic
customers... Plastic parts. We also have one customer who was wanted to sort eggs into certain quality levels, inspection of surfaces, and so on. So this is the main focus area.
But in all honesty, not every machine has a camera.
Exactly, and that's why on this show, we first time also show that it doesn't have to be an image.
Okay.
So we can also now work with standard signals and time series data that every machine produces. So we do not longer limit our capabilities of the machine learning creator to a subgroup of so those guys who use vision data, but we extend it to the user group of every machine builder, because every machine builder has time series and signals.
Okay, so this means if I'm measuring a force, if I'm measuring a temperature, I can use this, I can take all this data, archive it and train my model with it, and then I can make a prediction what kind of force will result to which temperature in my pressing process, for example.
For instance.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's a really nice helper. You need to only have data, which every machine already has. It's already integrated in the workflow. We can bring it to you with the ML creator. You don't need a camera for it, just what you already have. Yeah. And then you don't need to make very complicated algorithms for decision making.
Exactly.
Yes, so this is our TwinCAT CoAgent for operation. And the main focus is addressing service cases on running machines. So we want to assist the user of the machine and the service personnel that they have a direct access to the information of the machine. So you have a chat in your HMI and can ask a question, something like, what's going on with my machine? I have this and this behavior. And then in the background, the agent is doing his work, collecting all the information from the machine and giving you a report with instructions how to solve the problem. And this should be a good solution for the future to optimize.
But that means that in operation, I get right away basically the adjustments or the improvements to avoid the failure, right?
Yes, exactly. So something like warnings, but also when you have an error, you can ask for how to solve the problem, and that you don't need maybe support from our side. Okay.
Now, in order to simplify the programming, we can even start a step earlier. And this is something which we have already showcased last year on the trade show. But I think this is something where we have a beta version now available. So this is CoAgent for programming. So is this something customers can already work with?
Yes, we started with the first beta customers and we are extending the group right now. And as you already mentioned, for this we're focusing on the engineering part. So you can create PLC codes examples, you can create HMIs and configure your TwinCAT project. Something like I/O configuration and other real-time settings, for example. And we want to extend it even more to the engineering right now.
Okay. So this is something that customers can explore already, the function feature of the CoAgent. Now, last but not least, Janis, you told me that you have created an integration of a special protocol. You call this MCP, the Model Context Protocol, where customers can actually integrate their own work. How helps this actually to standardize the work with KI?
Yes, so as you already mentioned, MCP is a protocol. You can compare it a little bit to a USB-C connector for generative AI. So it's a standardized way to access standard software like TwinCAT, for example, but also like ERP systems from customers or databases, something like that. And when they support this interface, then we can easily connect it to CoAgent and get this information. And context is everything for generative AI. And if you get more context about the customer and the project, then the results will get even better.
I think that's so amazing, Janis. We just talked about this topic maybe 3 years, and there are already products available, betas available, and even standardization is ready. I think this is really amazing what happened in this artificial intelligence field the last 3 years. Good morning, Michael.
Morning, Roland.
You're expert in our terminal system, not from the very first beginning, but since the year 2003. So what is the history and the development in our terminal system, Michael?
Yeah, you mentioned it. We started in 1995. At that time, we had the K-bus as the internal communication. We had 4 channels as a maximum in one terminal. Then already 5 years later, we could double the channel density, so 8 channels inside. 2003, everybody knows, we introduced EtherCAT to the market, and straight away we brought it into the I/O system. So we increased the speed to 100 megabit. And then 2009, again, we could double the channel density because of better electronics to 16 channels. Last year, we introduced 32 channels.
This one here, yeah.
Exactly. And this year, now the ED series is a new thing, which is basically a complete upgrade of the I/O terminals, electronic-wise, but also electric-mechanical-wise.
Yeah, and I noticed that the cool thing is, around here, something here is 2003, we integrate EtherCAT, which is running really from one terminal to the other. It goes all the way now to ED, but why have you changed now from EL to ED? So what is the secret of D?
The secret of D is like direct push-in technology. So it's a very simple explanation. With the standard clamp we have today, you have to open with a screwdriver, push in the wire, pull out the screwdriver. Direct push-in technology just means...
Hold on. You remember this with a cage clamp, you need a screwdriver, you need to release the cage clamp, and then you could wire the cable, right?
Exactly.
Now let's see what direct push-in is. Let's show it, Michael.
Very easily, no screwdriver, just the wire, just push it in, that's it.
This saves a lot of time, I assume.
You don't need the tool in the hand, and it saves up to 40% in wiring time, which is, of course, attractive for everybody who builds cabinets.
Yeah, if I got 8 or even 16 wires per terminal, this is quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
What else is the secret behind ED besides the push-in technology?
Yeah, so we used latest electronics and parts, so we are state-of-the-art, so we have a long product life cycle. And main thing, besides the push-in technology in the housing, we optimized the whole design. So all the connections in one row, the whole labeling, the LEDs, everything is easier to read. We have bigger ventilation systems. This lever is bigger, so it's easier to remove the terminals. And yeah, one important point, maybe we introduced the diagnostic app, from the MX system, now also to the I/O terminals.
Okay. And the backbone remains EtherCAT? That means we don't need all the terminals up in the front, or what is the portfolio look like?
Yeah, that we can see here. That is always one thing we pay a lot of attention to, that our systems stay compatible. Yeah. So the customer does not have to decide to use EL or ED, he can just mix. So here you see the standard EL terminals, those are ED terminals, and you can just mix them. So all the power contacts, communication contacts, they have exactly the same form factor. so that you can just smoothly integrate the new terminals with all the benefits you get.
Now, all the benefits, of course, creates interest. So what terminals are ready? So where is the portfolio starting?
So we are starting with roughly 50 terminals. And of course, we have the standard digital and analog signals.
Yeah, okay.
We have also optimized the coupler. So for example, you can see this here, the direction, how the cable comes out of the coupler is now going directly in the place where all the cables go. So much more comfortable for the cabinet builders. And a lot of signals like serial communication, like weighing terminals, they are completely new design with much better features, 2 channels, optimized, also the price. So
Okay. That will be the final question. A lot of new features means more cost?
no, not more cost, because we used latest electronics. We also optimized the way how we produce them. So all the terminals are also more cost effective than the corresponding EL terminals.
Michael, amazing news. Thank you.
Hello, Felix.
Bradley, what is especially exciting for you about AX and AX1000, AF1000?
So what we are seeing especially is small, it's compact, it's fully integrated into the Beckhoff ecosystem with EtherCAT and integrated with TwinCAT 3. It's our first inverter product, and one of the things we've done is to reduce costs for the OEM is we have a single and a 2-channel version.
That's quite rare in the market, right?
It is, we see it as relatively unique in the marketplace at this moment.
Okay, nice form factor, fully integrated, made in Germany, made in Europe, made in Germany, of course. But the big question for our customers is, of course, when does it start? When do we start delivering these devices?
So you can buy the AF frequency inverter now, but at the moment it hasn't got UL and safety.
Yeah.
We will have UL and safety by the end of first quarter 2026.
Okay.
The servo drive, the AX1000, will be shipping at the end of first quarter 2026.
Oh.
And that will have UL and safety already.
Okay. So it basically starts now, the ordering starts now, and also the delivery starts then in the spring next year in March.
Yeah.
And if you are now wondering what we consider, what we have in mind when we talk about economy servo drives, I think you are happy to receive some emails to make a competitive offer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything
Absolutely.
else new which we brought for this exhibition?
Well, we have a product roadmap
Yeah.
to increase the sizes of the 2 drives. So we will have a 12 amp servo drive and a 5.5 kilowatt inverter drive
Okay.
towards in the roadmap in the future.
More muscles for the machine,
More
right?
power, more power.
Thank you so much, Bradley.
very
Have a
much.
wonderful time here today. Felix, the beer map-sized C6015 PCs turned into a big success for us. Why are they so successful?
Yeah, that's exactly right. They are that successful, actually the most successful IPC series that we have at Beckhoff.
Okay, wonderful.
Because they are extremely compact, you see that? They are versatile, they are flexible in mounting options, they are quite powerful using Intel Atom processors since the very beginning. And yeah, it's a big success story because they can be used in versatile applications. So classic control, PLC, but also as a gateway, security gateway, so non-controlling applications as well.
Very robust, rigid design. This year is SPS. We always try to bring something new for the SPS show. What's new this year?
Yeah, actually the success story began already in 2016, exactly. 9 years ago, exactly at this point, when we started with the C6015 in the first generation. And it looks a little bit that I brought the exact same PC 4 times.
One
But
could get to that idea, yes?
Yeah, but that's actually not the truth. So it is the exact same PC type, but the inner values completely changed during the time. So actually we now, on this SPS trade show, talk about the 4th generation of this PC.
Okay.
And that's actually the promise that we give to our customers. So we started 2016, and every 3 years, as a customer, you get an update of the CPU inside the exact same form factor. So get compatible successors, while actually the older generations are still long-term available. So you can still buy the very first generation from stock.
So 2016, 9-year-old PC product. Yeah, I think that's something to
Exactly.
mind, yeah?
Exactly. So that's always a good reason why it's perfect to use back-off IPCs to control whatever, right?
Okay.
And this year's SPS, we actually bring the 4th generation utilizing Intel Atom Amstel Lake, so the X7 series of Intel Atom.
What's so special about them? I guess more calculation power.
Yeah, that's
good.
one. Yeah, that's one bullet point. So again, more performance for the same price in the same form factor. So actually, these are the efficient cores of the current Core I hybrid architectures.
Yep.
So you get more performance. We talk about, for example, 25 to 80% plus to the current generation EtherCAT Lake. Talking about Apollo Lake and Bay Trail, it's actually from somewhere 80 to 300% calculating power.
Wow. Okay.
Base frequency plus the new Intel Atom Amstel Lake brings the opportunity to use the CPU cores in turbo mode.
Okay.
So actually, even with base frequency, I told you, they are extremely more performant than the older generations. Plus, we get the option for turbo boost on these CPUs.
I think we have to be here a bit precise because the last 2 years we have been talking quite a bit about TwinCAT Core Boost.
That's
But
right.
TwinCAT Core Boost and Turbo Boost are two topics, right?
Yeah, you have to differ. TwinCAT Core Boost is actually used on the Core I architectures where we can pin single CPU cores real-time capable on turbo frequencies, for example 4-point-something gigahertz on single cores, stable and real-time capable. The classic turbo mode is actually that you achieve turbo frequencies for a few seconds,
Yeah.
which is
spike.
yeah, like spikes exactly, which is especially interesting for all the customers not using the PCs for control.
Yeah.
And that's what we exactly offer for the new Atom Amstel Lake series. There's a few more important things. For
Yeah.
example, there's an 8-core CPU available. So the first time Atom offers 8 CPU cores, and this is why we bring a completely new design, which is based on our current C6025 form factor, but we add Atom Amstel Lake inside. So to get all out of the performance of the CPUs, we need a little bit more cooling profile, right? And
Makes
that's
sense, yeah.
yeah, that's why we have a slightly bigger housing, but up to 8 CPU cores, USB-C integrated for various kinds of applications.
Basically capitalizing on the entire developments. I think the currently available Intel i9 processors, they have up to 8 efficiency cores, right?
No, actually, it's 16.
16,
Up to
yeah,
16
true,
efficient cores, yeah.
Okay.
It's 8 performance cores, 16 efficient cores, and those efficient cores are used now in the C6025 and C6015.
Thank you so much. I think that's a wonderful message that we are adding all kinds of possibilities to our IPC portfolio.
So now what is the normal step? If you meet a customer and would like to convince him to use MX, so what do you do?
Yes, the perfect start for such a project is to view the machine on site. We get a quick feeling for how much space is available, which machine functions can be combined on one base plate. We have to add short cable lengths, and it's equally important to look after special requirements that we are not covered with the MX system yet, because we need to find smart solutions for that.
So I think in the beginning you really observe all the inputs, the outputs, and the motion, and then you start with the base plate. So is the base plate basically then the backbone for the project?
Yes, we start with it, but we're going to detail planning after the initial meeting, and for that we use our circuit diagram, I/O list, and functional list, and translate or transfer the machine functions into modules. Therefore, we have a MX configurator. It's a back-off tool for planning the whole base plate with all the functionalities, with accessories and cables and so on. And with this, first solutions, we're going into discussion with the customer and prepare quotation.
And then basically it ends up with a complete piece part list of the, let's say, former cabinet within MX components. That's it?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Now with the experience of cabinet building, I think we both know that not everything can be equipped in the MX system. We don't have thousands of MX modules. So Robin, now what is our suggestion if customers need specific interfaces of functions or features?
Yes, for collecting sensor signals, we normally use our IP67 boxes. We have a wide portfolio of EP or EPP boxes, and we provide 24 voltage and the EtherCAT out of the MX system. And for third-party devices, we have nearly the same way. We can provide switchable 400 voltage AC, 230 voltage, or control power 24 voltage, 48 voltage out of the MX system. And with gateways or direct out of the MX system, we can combine everything together and
Perfect. So basically, we think it from both sides. So if there's something missing in the MX portfolio, we have the EPP portfolio, or even external attentions.
Yes.
And I would like to catch up with Fabio about mounting the display devices. I saw a lot of round pipes below our new CP4 and CP5 devices. What's about that?
Yeah, well, this was the mounting solution we have shown for the new panels so far. So when we showed them for the first time in Hanover this year, we showed them only for the 48mm mounting tube. And from my point of view, this is the most elegant way actually to mount those panels, right?
A pillar is a wonderful geometrical structure.
Yeah, but nevertheless, there are several customers who have their own mounting adapters, competitors' mounting adapters whatsoever. And this is why, based on the same components, we also did another mounting adaptation for 100 by 100 mounting options, right? So this is what you can see here.
Okay.
And also in this example, we can see the way we think the new products, right? We want to be more functional, more easy in installation, for example. And I have one example right here.
Not a round thread here.
Yeah, not a round threaded connector anymore, right? So
closer so we can have a look here.
we know that from the past when you had to connect several cables and they themselves were IP65 connected, this could be really a mess, right? And now we have IP20 connectors, simple USB connectors like this one, for example. You just plug them in the right direction. You have the gasket right here. Place a cover over it, and that's it. You have your total IP65 proof connection and in a much less time installed.
Wow, that looks very nice. I think that's a very handy development which a lot of customers will enjoy, but also customers enjoy a lot of performance. Felix talked yesterday a lot about new CPUs, Intel Amston Lake, was one of the keywords. How are we integrating this one?
Yeah, but yesterday you all saw this PC right here, beautiful PC. And if you have a look on the heatsink right here, you might see that this is some kind of familiar, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is because we are so convinced of this CPU we are using right here, this new Intel Atom Amston Lake processors.
8 cores.
8 cores, up to 8 cores, right? And they are so beautifully behaving, especially with their boosting features, right? Clock frequencies up to 3 gigahertz that are also useful, especially for an HMI. And this is why we're putting exactly those CPUs also in our new CP57 and 47.
Okay,
right?
but we also have some other CPUs, for example, the ARM CPUs. Does this mean we only use them for web panels now?
Yeah, well, this is something you always combine, right? You hear ARM and you think web panel. But we think this is too limited, actually. So, of course, you can use it as a simple HMI, perfectly suited for TwinCAT 3 HMI applications, but it can do so much more, as it is like all back-of PCs, the base for TwinCAT and all its features. So it could be your central control as well. And it comes with a lot of performance, actually. We got hybrid architectures there as well, so up to 6 cores with each 2 gigahertz, so not comparable to a single core ARM we had in the past. Okay,
so a very scalable performance portfolio performance-wise. So many CPUs, so many great display devices capable of almost everything, right?
You get a huge matrix out of different features, different display sizes. For the mounting arm adaptation or for the control cabinet installation, CPUs, passive connection whatsoever.
I think that's a wonderful message for the exhibition. We have our wonderful new panels here, can be enjoyed today here until 6 p.m. And of course, with our colleagues in the office closest to you at your place. I would like to figure out now something which we have not seen here with the panel so far. So we can turn a panel 350 degrees, because otherwise we would basically break the connection mechanically. Now we would like to see something which can turn 360 degrees, and this brings us to Roland and Simon with our new servo motors. Thank you, Fabio.
It's always this little new thing here which we have, and now it's called AM1000. What's the secret about the new motor family, Simon?
You're right, our new series AM1000, there we had actually a completely new development objective. And as the name economy servo motor suggests, on the one hand, of course, we developed it to meet the current technical requirements of the market, but also to meet the trend in terms of price.
I think this is an important approach, by the way, because there are normally a lot of motors on a machine. So if we can optimize the motor, I mean, this is a huge multiplicator for the total bill of material. So I think economy servo motors is an excellent choice, right?
You are right.
So what is inside the motor? Sorry that I interrupted you.
So we developed also the motor to be a perfect combination with the AX1000, so that we have a perfect combination for general machine engineering. And also important for us is that we have an excellent quality, performance, and reliability. And we optimized the motor to be perfect for any application in terms of price, and also the reliability, and of course the performance. That was very important for us.
Yeah. What I noticed is this new motor looks extremely compact. So you were also able to shrink the size, correct?
That is right. So we could reduce the overall length of the motor by up to 45%, and averagely over the complete series by 40%. So we have a very compact motor, and this is ideal for confined installation spaces, of course.
Okay, and this is always a point. But then I think if the motor is so compact, the cable is maybe even bigger than the motor. So can we still use the one cable technology, the back of OCT?
Of course we can use it. So as with all our components from the motion department, of course we integrated here the one cable technology as well. It's realized over 2 wires inside this cable, so that we have a very thin and compact cable.
I think it's even smaller than the existing one for the AM8000, right?
You are right.
So how was this possible?
In combination with the AX1000, we can now use partially shielded cables, and this also gives us the benefit that the cables are smaller, thinner, and much more flexible, and therefore they are much easier to lay in the machine.
Wow. I also noticed that it's still OCT, the backup technology, but the connector itself is also new. So you've chosen a more compact, smaller connector as well?
That is right. Yeah. So we have a very robust metal connector, and the height of the connector is also reduced. So for confined installation spaces, this is really ideal.
Okay. Now, for a perfect sales pitch, we always need a system at Beckhoff. You already mentioned AX1000, which we explored yesterday. Now we have AM1000. So is this really the perfect combination now?
You are right. Yeah. So the AM1000 is specifically developed to fit perfectly to the AX1000. In the system, we have a lot of benefits. For example, with the electronic nameplate that is integrated inside the motor, we have the option to have a very easy commissioning with the system. Also, the system is perfectly integrated in TwinCAT, so all the software features that you know, that you are used to, like the drive manager or motion designer, of course, are integrated, and it's really easy to use. And of course, as we optimize these products for each other, we have a very compact, cost-effective solution. And what's also special about the system is that it comes in standardized power ranges. Okay, so we have a power range from 50 watts up to 1000 watts at a voltage of 230 volts. But also it can be used with higher voltages, so that it can be used worldwide, even in the smallest sizes, with up to 480 volts.